Pause, start recording. Okay, so the class is recording. We are 15, 16 in the class, which is a pretty good group. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your assignments. A lot of them are, or pretty much you did a good effort and a good try for having your sound and for having your modifications on the web. So what I just want to tell you is, okay, we have a local server, right? What do I need to do in order to have them on a real web page, just in case that you wanted to know? As you probably know, there are a bunch of companies that make web pages. For example, Wix, right? I don't know. I'm just putting the first one that you get on the web. Am I sharing my screen? No, sorry. Let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, if you want to make a web page, you can go either this way. The big problem with these companies is that they are conceived or they are planned for making static pages on the templates that they have. They own the server, and the only way that you have to access their servers is by their environment for modification of the web pages. But you don't have a lot of space, and you don't have actually a computer that you can manipulate on that particular site, right? That's one option. Another option would be to have your own web server on your computer, as I mentioned the other day, right? As far as we have at this point, I don't know if I'm repeating things that you already know or not, but as far as we have right now, you run your map server, as we mentioned the other day, right? And that gives you a local server on your computer. Because it's on your computer, you can easily go to localhost, and you will go to the server that is on that particular computer. Localhost means go to this computer, because the browser is on this computer where the server is happening. I can connect to this particular page, and then I can go to my local, I don't know, to my local pages, right? But you do not have access to that unless, and this is just a parenthesis because the class is not about local servers or about having your personal server, unless you decide to make it public. If you want to make it public, if you go to here and you say, which is my local, is my IP, okay, for example, I will go, and at this point in the internet, in the local universal internet, this is the address that I have. Okay, this is my public address. If you go to your computer and you go to 189.147.89.3, you are gonna try to connect to this computer, right? The problem is that if you go there, where you're gonna actually connect is to the router, to the device that the company that you hire put you. That is the router, right? And that is a big problem. So if you decide to do something like that, you will need to go to something like, well, let me see, um, 190. Let me see if I have a, no, you will have to go to, give me 1 second, to my, let me see which is my private IP. So I'm going to my other computer. Okay, 192, 192, 168, 124. I guess I have to do HTTP 192, 188, 186. HTTP.
Teacher,
Yes?
Fernanda asks if you can let
Yes.
her.
Apologize. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
That's it. Okay. One, 250. That's Ethernet connection. This is 68.1.256. Yes. And then I'm connecting to my router, right? And then if I'm here, the big problem is that I don't remember my access. I don't remember my access of my router, right? But if you do that, you can go and how to set up a local server, right? And there's a bunch of explanations about how to do this on Windows Max. There are many of them, right? First, you have your server, and then you will have to, or actually, you will have to go and also make local server. Okay, there are a bunch of explanations about what you need to do in order to say that, because you probably have 5 or 6 or 2 or 3 computers on your home. You have to make a bridge in order to say, this is the computer that I want to make public. And that's a way for making a local server on your computer. The big problem is that if you go to your computer, and probably if you go to the speed test of your internet, right? And you go to your house and you run this, we are gonna see that the uploading, because now you are gonna, people is gonna connect to your computer, right? If you know that just one person is gonna connect, probably it's fine. But if you go with this kind of speeds to making a real web page that people can access, this is going to be way too slow, right? So it's not going to be useful for a business industry, right? And the other problem is that my local IP, this local IP, is not, it's a dynamic IP. It's not an static IP, which means that if you turn off your router and you turn it on, or maybe Telcel changes the cables, your IP, your local IP is gonna change. So you cannot be saying to everybody, oh, my address has changed, my address has changed. One solution for that is a company called No IP, okay? The No IP, it's a remote access with a dynamic DNS, right? If you connect to this, which is what I actually have, right? You can get a host name, which is this one. In my case, hugosolis.noip.me, right? Which is targeting to this particular dynamic IP, and they in charge to be updating your IPs. If you don't want to pay, you can go to these companies, and actually, if you go at this point in your house and then you connect to this, your my port, this theoretically should be working in order to show a music server that I have on my computers. Oh, I know why it's not working. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's another solution. However, this one is still not very efficient. The other option is actually to hire a piece of space in a server, not a web page, but a piece of server. So if we go here to, okay, I will have to open a new one. Give me 1 second. if we go here to customers that site, this is just a company. I need it. Maybe you don't need it. Just only do this once that you know that you are going to start to work on materials that should be on servers. I have to pay pretty much like 4,000 pesos per every 2 years in order to have this server. Site 5, it's a company. There are many companies. I mean, this is actually this is not the best probably, but it was the one that I got 10 years ago, and then I'm not going to change. But there are other more updated companies, right? And what is interesting about this is that what I'm doing, it's renting a piece of server where I can run a bunch of codes, different kind of codes. I can buy domains, okay? So I can buy domains. These are the domains that I've been creating over the years, right? Domains, some of them are $10 per year, and some of them are $2 per year. Buying a domain doesn't mean that you are buying a space. You are only buying the name in the dictionary that points to a server, right? So you can buy a domain and point it to your local computer if you want to. But most of the times you buy domains and you buy space in computers. So let's check, for example, my webpage, okay? This is my webpage where I have my different projects, my different sound installations, and the publications, and my bio, and my contact. This is a small piece of code that is called WordPress, right? And if we go here, you can go to my services, and then I have here my 200 per year. It's kind of I don't know, kind of expensive, I guess. I don't know. And then I can go to this one. Oops. I can go to here, which is my panel. Okay. On my panel, I have a lot of things that I can do. I can create subdomains. I can create accounts for you if you want them. I can create different pieces of code. I can install different web content managements. I can do a lot of things. I have only 4 teras per space. I have a database. I have subdomains, emails. I can set up email servers, and so on and so on, right? What I want to do this now, this is a piece of space. I have 4 terabytes in one particular computer that they own. How can I connect to that computer? Either through a FTP connection, that's the name, File Transfer Protocol, right? And in that way, you can connect, okay? Or I can do a file manager, and these are all the different materials that I have on that computer. However, it's very complicated to use this way for uploading and downloading materials. That's why most of the time you occupy different pieces of software like CyberDog, which is a storage browser. It's a way for connecting to a server, or FileZilla, right? Which is another client, okay, for connecting through the FTP protocol. So in this particular case, what I'm doing is the following. Let me disconnect. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes, guys?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm opening CyberDuck, okay? And in CyberDuck, I have just one connection to this particular server that is called Ajolote. If you open here and you see, let me see my properties. Okay, I'm saying connect to this server. That's the name that I have in the server. Okay, because I own that URL with this particular name, with this particular protocol of communications. Okay, once that I can do that, I can connect. And once that I can connect, I create accounts, I can upload materials. And if we go here, there is a file called public HTML. And if I go, I can create a folder, which is called web audio. And I can drag contents, and I can drag the local materials, which is all of what I'm saying is because of that, is that I already have your assignments that you gave me. They are, I think, in descargas. Yeah, assignment, for example. I'm just gonna grab one of you guys, okay? And then I'm gonna drag it into here. I just drag it. And this program, what it's doing is connecting to the external server, uploading that, and now all you guys can go to ajolote.net/web audio, right? And voila, now we have your assignments on a public server that everybody in the world can see, okay? Obviously, this is not a regular web page because we don't have an HTML file inside here, but let's go to, and then Clase 08, right? Is by Ricardo Gutierrez. Okay, I just loaded. I'm gonna delete it again. I'm gonna delete this file, okay, because I already have it. And then if I upload the server, that's it, okay? So if I go to assignment 08, these are all the assignments that you guys upload until 7 a.m. today in the morning. Not everybody is here. Some people did not finish the assignment and is not here. But then we can just very easily go and check the assignment of 034568, who is multi-track.
Me.
Rodrigo. Okay, let's check Rodrigo assignment. I can go to multi-track, and then here is the assignment of Rodrigo. You can go, actually. You can go. Please go, and because otherwise you are not gonna hear it. And that's it. Nice. Is this your music? Oh, something is going on. Rodrigo, are you around?
Yes.
You cannot stop your sounds.
No, I didn't know how because it's extremely complex.
Okay, okay, but it says, is this your music, Rodrigo?
No, it was samples that the programmer gave.
Okay.
I only extend the last two. Yes. They are
Oh,
my
these
sounds.
ones are yours. Okay,
Yes.
excellent, nice, good, good. That's a nice one. Let's check the assignment from Edson Francisco. Edson Francisco, I think this is Edson Francisco.
Hi.
Hi, Edson, could you explain us a little bit what you did?
I just added a song, a new song, and I kept pretty much everything as the original code. I modified the colors, but I don't think they. I think I forgot to upload the color scheme, like the code for the color scheme. So the colors are not like there. But I just added a song that I had. And yeah, it's just a banner. That's
Okay.
pretty much it.
So this is the assignment from Edson, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Edson, nice. And then let's check the assignment from now. Who is the next one? The next one should be Mario Belmonte, right? I think this is Mario Belmonte
Here.
assignment. Is this your steps? Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard. Like I tried to study the code, and it was really complicated.
Okay, don't worry. That's what we're gonna do today. I understand that you are just digging around and you are just checking and trying to understand the code. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
I just changed the the titles, and also like in the one that says barrido and pulso,
Yes.
I added like more values to attack and release, and in pulso I added like different frequencies. So in the original one, you couldn't go that low, and I added this to go lower, and also the LFO I added to the rate also slower. So yeah.
I see. So basically you change ranges.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Edson, you add
Yeah.
layers.
Yeah,
Nice.
kind of.
And then where is the first one? The first one was by Rodrigo.
Yes.
Rodrigo, what did you did?
I added two more sounds. I changed colors. I started putting like the panning in each one, but the connection didn't like the connection, the audio context wasn't the best.
I see. Okay, I try all day
So
long in panning
I
code. Okay. Yeah, Rodrigo. In that case, you wrote me, and then yeah, we have to work on that one. It's good. So now we go to the next one, which is Mario Belmonte already. Let's check this one. Who is this guy? Or 06535.
It's me, I think.
Okay, is this your assignment?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it is.
Interesting concept. Could you explain us what you did?
Yeah, I just modified the files that were in the multi-track demo in the webpage. I just make like a demo reel about my songs or about my.
Oh, I understand. But something is happening here because the buttons disappear.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I try to make them sound once you touch it. But I couldn't make it sound once you press the button.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Your problem is that probably you are attaching the buttons to the loading of the sounds. If there is a problem in the loadings, then you remove them from your HTML, because look at this, buttons, tuk, 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 they disappear, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we are gonna work on that. Now, let's check next one. How can I check? This one was already yours. Let's check this one. Práctica 1, Sebastián Gómez, right?
Yes.
Okay, could you tell us what you did, Sebastián?
Well, I just tried to make a simple sound, but I wasn't able to get that.
Okay, let's check. Let me just see. Okay, simple sounds. Let's check.
I think it's A frequency, 440.
Sebas, but your sound is not working, right?
It's in the codes, but I don't know how to
Make
place
it
it.
sound. I see. Okay. Interesting. Your audio is here. Oh, you have a folder with nothing in the audio. Okay, interesting. Interesting. We have to check this one. Okay, this one was Sebas 781. Can we check now? Okay, this was Sebas. What about this one? Multitrack modificado.
I think it's my teacher. Yes, it's
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about yours?
I was trying to modify the colors, but I don't understand it at all. But I was analyzing the code, and I also understand how they are putting the songs. Well, in this case, was the bass on guitar, and I changed it to a loop and two songs, a vocal and a cymatic, and I also changed the titles of each one. If you we can reproduce it and play it, and it's going to sound in a Google Drive carpet.
Oh yeah, well, I changed your Google Drive sounds. I changed them because I download them and then I put them inside the folder, but still it's not working. But I understand that you changed the sounds, right?
Yes, I also tried, and that's why. But I also tried, and they were playing when I was programming them.
I see.
I don't know why.
That's good. That's good. No big deal. Okay, this is 6932. 6969332. Who's okay? This one was yours, right? Now let's check this one. Ricardo. It's around here. Yeah. Ricardo, are you around?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit what you did?
Yeah, I use the compressor and the audio analyzer. Also, I added my composition from Super Collider, but I couldn't make them work together. I wanted them to be one. When you put play, the audio analyzer would work, but I couldn't make that work. So I just made them work separately, and well, they work, but not together.
Okay, two codes together. I'm writing here the things that I need to explain during the class. Okay, that's good. That's good because you have the compressor here. The compressor is working, and then if I press this one, your audio analyzer should start soon. Okay, let's see. Oh, maybe can they work together?
In theory, yes,
In
they
theory,
were working when I was.
Yeah, in the morning it was working too. I play it and it was working. Maybe it's taking a lot of time to download the sound. I don't know. Let me see. I have some chats. Okay. No, maybe something with the sound. I don't know. Okay, that's good. This was Ricardo. Was this Ricardo? Yes, Ricardo Prado. Okay, let's check this one now. Estefania.
Yeah, I'm here.
Steffi, can you tell us what you did?
Okay, so like
Mine is one that is like create media stream destination. And when I was trying to like modify it, I saw that like the original code was supposed to create a wave about, I mean, about something it was recorded. I didn't actually get it. Like, I don't know if I got it correctly, but what I did and what I think it is like what I thought about like the homework. It is that the code was supposed to record something and then like show a sine wave. So I thought about like it would could have been cool if like the user could record a joke or a secret or something and then reproduce a wave. That's why I put it like that.
I understand. Yeah, recording sounds and then manipulating sounds is one. It's a tricky one. So yeah, it is not recording actually. When I put create recording, and then I press stop recording, it's different than this particular sine wave, right? So you want to do a modulation of the material that you are recording. So this is interesting. Recording a sound. You can check that one too if you want to, right? But it is a nice try. Steffi, thank you very much, Stefania.
Thank you.
Okay, we are almost done. What is this one? Oh, Stefania already done. Who is around here?
That's me, teacher.
Could you tell us a little bit?
Well, I first tried to change like the color of the.
Okay.
But I didn't find the line in the script where it says it indicates the color of the line, but I actually could change the background and also like the rate of the line. It's like thicker, and I also changed the message that it launches once the file is downloaded, and I added another audio file, which is a homework of another class. So that's it.
Nice, that's good. For your MIDI class, right? An audio analyzer. Good. Let's check this one. I think we haven't checked this one. Do we? Homework 8 by who owns this account? Number 77714.
Me.
Fernanda. Good. Fernanda, could you tell us what you did?
Yes. Well, I honestly kept most of the original code.
Good.
Since I really like it. Well, that's a guitar. So there wasn't too much like to do, but I modified a little the buttons. Well, it was just like a button of show the play. Well, I tried to add a button of stop, but I had pretty much the same trouble with Omar. I think it was Omar. I don't know. And I don't know if well, we can like see it in the class.
Okay, so a button for playing sound, right?
Yeah, and the stop we did one like that the past class, but I couldn't do it like here.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Yolanda. Okay, let's check. Do we need to check another one? Yes, we need to check this one. Tarea 8. Who is anybody with that?
It's me, teacher. Sorry,
Okay,
I thought
it's
my
okay.
microphone was on.
It's okay. Can you tell us what you did?
Actually, the same thing as Ricardo.
Okay.
I did a compressor, and I actually wanted analyzer to analyze the compressor while it was on and while it was off, but I didn't provide those two codes, so I just changed the song of the compressor and
Okay.
and the parameters as well.
I see. Analyzer. Okay, that's good. So you have the compressor, which is the code that it was in one example. You change the music and you add okay, and then you have this, right? As two pieces of code, two different pieces of code. That's good. And then last but not least, we have Ricardo, Ricardo Flores. Interesting. Ricardo, are you around? Seems not. Ricardo Flores, it is an analyzer, and they change basically the color of the materials and the sound. With probably his music, right? Nice, sounds nice. It's nice, Ricardo. Okay, and last but not least, we have this one. Anybody? Could you tell us what you did?
Well, I just changed the graphics and the file. I put another song, and I started to play with the colors because at the beginning I didn't know how to change them, but then I knew how, and well, I started to see also how the buttons were done and all of that.
I see. Okay, you changed colors and you did you
file. And well, I changed it.
Okay. Volume, time, and then the colors of the content. Nice. Excellent. Good. Okay. Well, at this point, you have an idea, right, about what are we doing. You have an idea about what are we talking about when we mention the web audio API, and then you start to see the codes, right? You get an idea about what you need to do in order to implement the code, but we are still in the process of learning three things at the same time, which is very hard: HTML, net communication, JavaScript, CSS, and the audio API, which is a lot. That's why I'm not worried about the things that you did. That's why this assignment was just pure modifications and changes, right? Now, on the same place where you have a Holote.net audio, we have also the different examples that we saw on the tutorials and that we saw on the examples, right? And there are many of them. For example, the audio basics, it's the one that probably you were working with. The audio buffer is the one that plays the sound, okay? And this is the one that is playing, oh, this is interesting because this is actually creating white noise, okay? Why are we doing a white noise? Let's study this one just for a little bit, okay? I'm gonna copy this piece of code, okay? Actually, I don't know if it is a good idea. Oh, okay. This piece of code is not enough for showing how is the button working, right? Because the button is connected to this particular HTML. If we want to see everything in context, probably we need to go and see the source code, okay? I'm gonna copy this completely to a new part of my Sublime text editor, right? And then I'm gonna check this to be called just whatever, let me see, whiteness, okay? Oh yeah. Okay, let's study a little bit about this. If you think that this is obvious, let me know. If you have questions, please, you can either raise your hand, you know that you have here in the Zoom place where you can raise your hand, right? Or you can just, yes, ideally you can raise your hand or write in the chat. But let's go just a little bit. Okay, this is everything together. So that means that there is no external files because there is a reference here to a CSS, but it is empty. That means that there is no CSS here. There is just the description that this is a web page. Then we know that we have an HTML that if that is the case, it has to be closed, okay? We have a section for the header. In the header, right? In the header, we have saying what configuration of text file, UTF-8 is the standard, okay? You can write accents, for example. You have these things that are important to define. This is just metadata about how your browser should understand the content that you're playing, okay? We have a title here that is opening and that is closing, okay? Okay, that's fine. And then the head is closing, that's good. And then we have the body. Body is starting, body is closing. Interesting. This is body starting and closing. Okay. In the body, we just have the audio buffer, the text, okay, which is what we have here, a text. This belongs to this section, okay. Then we have a button. The button says make noise. Then we have a button here. Okay, that sounds good. And then we have pre at the beginning and pre-closing. Let's say that we don't know what does pre means. We can go here and we can go on HTML pre. What is pre doing? Probably it's going to send you to W3 school, which we know is very clear. And then this is a pre-formatted text. This is a pre-element and the definition. The text pre-element is displayed in a fixed width font, usually Courier, and it preserves both the spaces and line breaks. Oh, interesting. Because we are going to be showing pieces of code, we don't want to change the organization, right? We want to keep it like that. Okay, now we know that pre is going to help you for that. That's good. Interesting. And then what is going on here? This is the interesting part. We have first the button, okay? And we are saying the button, look, this is important. We are, all this section that is happening from here to here inside the script section is JavaScript code, okay? The other part was HTML. What is between the script is just JavaScript. That's why we can have a variable. The variable button, which be constant, so it cannot change, and it's going to be in every part of our code. It's equal to the document. The document is the HTML. Query selector is give me from my HTML the button tag, because we only have one. We are getting the object button. That's good. Now, constant pre. Give me from my HTML everything that is in pre. It is a way for connecting the HTML to the JavaScript. Okay, that's understandable. And then we have another that says my script, give me the script that I have in the code, which is me itself, because I'm getting myself. If I explain it properly, I'm saying, please connect to the script. But who is saying that? The script itself is just an author reference. That's good. And then we say from pre, right? Inner HTML, my script, inner HTML. So I'm saying that the content that will be in pre is the code itself. That's why I can see the code. This is very nested way, ugly, not nice. I mean, it's good. It's good for them to show us the code, but it's not nice for us to learn. But it's okay. Now, we have an audio context. In the version that we mentioned before, do you remember that this allows us to have it in different kind of browsers? And then we have the audio context. It's equal, okay? The audio context is equal to this context. Now, let's have two audio channels. Okay, let's say that we don't know what does let mean in JavaScript, so we can say JavaScript script let. What is let in JavaScript? JavaScript let. And this is introduced, let and constant. These two keywords provide block scopes, okay? And what is let doing? The function scope, the local and JavaScript block scope variable, and let. Before you block, variables declared with the let keyword can have block scope. Variables declared inside a block cannot be accessed from outside the block. Okay, this is a way for saying that this variable exists only inside this context. You cannot use it here. But because we have everything outside, that's good. It's just a way for saying a constant. Okay, we don't, I think, yeah, this would work in any way. Okay, now we have a function init. Okay, this is important. Init is starting the audio context. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, our audio context, it's gonna be equal to audio context, but it's in a function. If you have questions of any kind, please let me know. Gilles, please just let me know, okay? But this is a function. I'm assuming that you are remembering your previous programming classes. But if this is a function, it is like a verb, right? It's like run, it's like eat. And in this case, it's init, okay? The function needs to be triggered in some part of the code. We will see in some point. And this is an interesting one. When we unclick button, when we press the button, we have the function, okay, which is equal to if the audio context hasn't been initialized. This is interesting. Audio context is a variable, which is null unless it has something. And it will have something when we have the init, okay? Then we call init. Look, this is the place where we are calling init, okay? Okay, that's interesting. And then this is the negation. In case you don't remember, this is just the negation. So if we do not have the audio context initialized, then please init. Okay, this is understandable. And now a frame count is the audio context. Audio context is our huge audio library. Do you remember? So we go here to the web audio API, right? And then we go to here. And then we can probably search here for our web audio context options or methods. Audio context, here it is here. The audio context, the interface represents an audio, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the audio context. What do you have in the audio context? You have a way for construct to create the audio context, which we already have here. A way for creating the audio context. Okay, we do have it because we know how to create an audio context. Okay, that is, but then we have attributes. We have base latency, output latency. We can close the audio context. we can create media elements, we can get the output timestamp, we can suspend, we can audio context options, which is probably the ones, latency, sample rate. Oh, interesting, sample rate, okay, of type float. Set the sample rate, okay, and this is what we have, sample rate, we get a number times 2, okay. Don't get worried, don't get stressed, we need to understand, okay. Sample rate probably should be 44 and 100, right? Probably it's 44 and 100. Why are we multiplying by 2? Okay, let's say, oh, do you know why are we multiplying by 2? Anybody with an idea about why probably are we multiplying the audio context times 2?
It's because if you want to reproduce some audio file, you have to double the sample rate which we are able to hear, which is, well, you have to double it. I think that's where.
Oh, if I understand properly, let me show you, let me give you one. Can you see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me create a new one. Okay. Yeah, I guess you are confusing between one thing. We can hear between 20 and 20,000 hertz, right? That's our regular audition. When you are saying that you have to multiply it, is because the sampling rate should be go between 20 and 40,000, right? Which people decide that it's going to be 44 and 100. Are you referring to that? That's why you're saying that you have to multiply times 2?
Yeah, because you have to double the samples per second.
But they are already double. The sampling rate is already 44 and 100.
So I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not for that. It's because for some reason we need a space. We will need an array of numbers, but because it's a stereo, we need 44 and 1,000 numbers for the left and 44 and 1,000 numbers for the right, okay? And that's why we have the frame count, okay? For at this point, I think so. Now let's continue. Let's continue with this. Are you okay, everyone? We are almost done in that part. This is just exercises. These are just exercises. Okay, like let my array buffer, okay, it seems that we have a buffer. It's an audio context, create buffer of 2 channels, right? Of twice frame count, twice the sampling rate, and the sampling rate. Okay, let's see, what is the audio context create buffer doing? Okay, if the audio samplings create buffer, do we have methods here in the audio, Yes, we have create analyzer, create peak-quad filter, create buffer source, create channel merge, create channel splitter, create constant convolver, create a delay, create a dynamic compressor, create again, create an input response filter, create an oscillator, create a panel, create a periodic wave, okay, create a script processor, there are many, because create a stereo panel, wave shaper, create audio data, okay, resume, many, right? But the interesting part is that we do have here the create, which was the one that we have, create buffer. Let's go to create buffer. Create buffer, this is the method. Create buffer, this thing that we have here. Can I write on the code? I think yes. Let me show you, annotate, okay. Draw, yes. Color, right. Okay, and then if I go here, yes. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning as you to teach by online. Okay, so we have the create buffer, right? This is interesting because this is the method. This is the method that we have on our code here, on our code here, right? So that's a way of learning. We are just exploring a code, and then we know that audio context is of kind audio context, and we know that this is a method that has 1, 2, and 3. This is 3 parameters, right? It's just that it doesn't fit in one line, but it is actually a third parameter, audio context sample rate. Okay, that means that if we go here, if we go here, we have it. And then it says create an audio buffer of the given size. What size? Twice the family. The audio data in the buffer will be 0. At the beginning, it will have pure zeros, okay? A non-supported error exception must be thrown if any of the argument is negative, 0, or outside its nominal ranges. Number of channels, unsigned long. This is the thing that you can put inside, okay? You can put an unsigned long. That means that I cannot put here 2, right? It is expecting a number. Good. Determines how many channels the buffer will have. At least must support at least 32 channels. Oh, interesting because they are starting to do this multi-channel. Length determines the size of the buffer in sample frames. Okay, it must be at least 1. Sample rate, describe the sample rate of the linear PCM audio data in the buffer in sample rates per second. An implementation must support rates between 8,000 and 96,000. Interesting. So basically what we are doing here is an array of numbers. Now, this is the nice part of this experiment. Fill the buffer with white noise, just random values between -1 and 1. Okay, what is white noise? If we go and then if we remember, what is the white noise? Okay, if we go here and we go here, we should remember that if we have time, right? And then we have values of the energy. And we know that here we have 16 bits for putting our possible numbers, right? 16 bits give us about 65,000 different numbers in resolution, right? Which we can either think as numbers between 0 and 65 and 1,000, or another way for doing that is typing it as float numbers between 0 and -1 and +1, right? So a sinusoidal, we know that if these are samples over time, okay, and we know our sampling rate is 44 and 1,000, and we have here 44 and 1,000 numbers, and we create a sinusoidal here. Could you please tell me what is the frequency of this sinusoidal? If we have 44 and 1,000 samples, right? If our sampling rate is 44 and 1,000, are we gonna hear this sound? Questions for you guys. Are we gonna hear as humans this shape if this has 44 and 1,000 samples and our sampling rate is 44 and 1,000?
No.
Why not?
Because our audio range is between 20 and 20K.
And we are listening at what this sinusoidal is being created at what frames?
44?
No, 44 and 1,000? No. And maybe I'm not explaining properly myself, but if we know that this will be read in 1 second, In 1 second, okay, we are gonna hear how many sinusoidals. How many sinusoidals are we gonna hear if this is 1 second?
44,100.
No.
No, one.
22.
Yeah, who?
One.
Just one. Yes. Okay. The point is this one. We have time. And let me create a new one. Okay. We have our time. Okay. Let's say I'm changing the scope of this graphic. This is second 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, let's say. Okay. And then we have here 1 sinusoidal, 2 sinusoidals, 3 sinusoidals, 4 sinusoidals, and so on. That means that our frequency, the frequency of this sinusoidal is 1 cycle per second, 1 sinusoidal per second, okay? Which is a very low frequency. Now, why can we get confused? In order to create this shape, we need 44 and 1,000 little numbers, The resolution is 44 and 1,000. This is the resolution per second. That means that we have 44 and 1,000 little pieces that creates our shape. Okay. So
yes.
Now the other point would be, if we want to hear a lower frequency, how many frequencies do we need? What would be the shape that we need in order to hear a really low frequency on this relation that we have? We need 20 web shapes inside here and 20 inside here in order to start listening something, right? 20 cycles per second, 20 cycles per second here, okay? So I hope that I'm explaining that properly. But this is the table. So we need to fill 44 and 1,000 values with something in order to hear it. Now, this is a square, right? Now, this is a sinusoidal. This is a saw. This is a triangle, right? This is a square one. This is a square one. What do we need to know to do in order to hear noise? What is the property of noise?
Something that we don't want to hear, maybe.
Well, it depends. There are some noises that are very, very peculiar and very interesting. There are a lot of music created only with noises and filters. But physically speaking, what is the property of noise? What is the difference between these are synthetic sounds, right? So we have synthetic sounds like sinusoidal, square, right? Triangle, saw, right? We can also have complex.
There is another signal, right?
Pardon me?
That there is a different kind of, it's called a noise, the kind of wave. And it produces like noise. I don't know.
But what is physically the property of noise? In terms of the values that should be in the signal, because this is, we know how to shape this one, we know how to shape this one, we know the property of the triangle, we know the property of the square, we know the property of a complex signal like this one, right? This will have. Pardon me?
their values have the same amplitude?
Oh, like this one, for example?
Yeah.
Oh no, that would be this would create a DC offset because your speaker will move, but then it's gonna remain that. There is no change in your speaker.
Okay.
We need a shape. So if my speaker moves like this, it's clearly a sinusoidal. If my speaker moves like this, it's clearly a square. If they have something like it's moving constantly in some peculiar way, well, it's a complex signal. And then noise. Noise is more like this, right? There is no order. There is no order. And it jumps from one place to another, right? That is noise. That is a digital noise, okay? So if we want to produce white noise in a digital domain, probably we need just random numbers that happens no matter what, right? Contrary to these one are not random. This is very clear what you need to do, right? In this particular case, you just need random numbers. That's why, if we go here, fill the buffer, the values that we need to know, we are gonna fill them with random numbers between -1 and 1. So it says, there are two channels here. Look, this is a nested force. We have two fours, right? One four inside the other. Why? Because probably we are gonna go channel by channel, okay? Okay, that sounds good. From channel 0 to number of channels, channel plus plus. If you have questions in this, please raise your hand, write in the chat, or just interrupt me. But these are then. Now, number of buffer, okay, let's have the number of buffering is my error buffer get channel data channel. Okay, what are we doing is my array buffer, do you remember that we have my array buffer is a create buffer? My buffer has channels. You can get the information, the content that is in that particular channel. Give me channel, first give me channel 0, later give me channel 1. Okay, give me channel 0. And then this is a for. From I0 to frame count, where frame count is twice the sampling rate, I++, okay? And then this is in math, random is 0 to 1. Audio needs to be from -1 to 1. So the things that we learn in Super Collider should be resonating at this moment in this new configuration, because math random, this is not audio context, this is JavaScript, right? You can use it for many things. If you go to JavaScript script random, we can go and then we can see that there is in JavaScript, right, a math random function that will return a random number between 0 and 1. Okay, so give me a number between 0 and 1, multiply it times 2, so it's gonna number between 0 and 2, subtract 1 is gonna be a number between -1 and 1. And the now buffering, which now buffering is a reference to that particular audio channel, because we have a for that is going 1 by 1, we'll have a random number. First on channel 0, and then, because we have another for, on channel 1. In that way, we create just random numbers for every one of the channels. Sounds good. And now, finally, we are create a buffer source. That is the one that connects to the buffer from out with the context. My source buffer, it's my, oh, interesting. This is interesting. My source, it's a buffer source. But my content, the content of that buffer, it's equal to my array of random numbers that I just create. Then connect that to the speakers. And finally, start my source, right? And that will play my sound. Now, interesting, source unended, once that the sounds are finished, white noise finish. Let's run this example, which I think is this one. And then I will open oh, it's here. I will open the developer tools, and then I will press, and then I will go to the console, right? These are just warnings, just saying that something has changed, but it's just a warning, okay? I will clear my console, and I will play. Oh, and the audio sound just stop after 2 seconds. White noise finish. That means that when our sound finish, we get a function. Unended is a function of every node that will be triggered, right, when it finish. Okay, so it's an interesting way of understanding what is happening in our audio context. I know that it could be a little bit complex, but it's just an explanation, right? Questions so far?
Teacher, I just have a doubt about the one that says channel plus plus. What does that do?
Oh,
the plus plus.
The plus plus is a shortcut for saying channel equal channel plus 1. Instead of writing channel equal channel plus 1, okay? That means if I'm a variable that I have a 5, and then I need to increment by 1, instead of saying I'm a 5, increase 1, then I'm a 6, you can only say increase by 1 your value. Okay, it's a shortcut. Instead of saying para, you say pa. Vámonos para el monte, you can say vámonos pa'l monte, right? It's just a shortcut for saying increase 1. It's a shortcut.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Another questions around here.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why it stopped after 2 seconds?
Oh, why it stopped after 2 seconds?
Yes.
Good question. Because we decide, actually, if we change this to 5, it's going to stop after 5 seconds. Why? Because you are filling the content with that materials. You are filling the content with 44 times 2. 44 times 2. Give me just 1 second. Oh, wow.
You're right. I understand.
Okay. Another question around there?
No, just like a confirmation of information. So if you put the sample, if you multiply the sample rate by 2, you are saying that you are filling like the index, just saying, with that information for that is enough for filling 2 seconds.
Yes.
Okay. I think I understood that part.
Yes. You need, where is our, you need, because this particular code decide that, yeah, maybe this one, decide that it's gonna be for fill with 2 seconds. This person decide just to fill 88 and 200 numbers, right? For the left channel, and 88, 200 numbers for the right channel. Why? Because it's gonna fill 1 second with pure noises, with pure random numbers and the other with pure random numbers. But then once that you start to play, after 2 seconds, there is no more information to read, and then the program says, the node says, I'm done. And then that's what is happening in here. I'm done of reading the 88 and 200,000 numbers, then I stop. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, now, good. I want to show you only another piece of code, and then I'm gonna give you a small exercise that you have to do, okay? Or actually, what I want you to do is, please get to the white noise, get the code, modify the code, yes, in this coming 15 minutes, because I promise that you have to work more during the class, otherwise you're gonna fall asleep, okay? Modify this code in such a way that now it's a monophonic signal, right? Monophonic signal, only mono of, let's say, 3 seconds. Monophonic of 3 seconds. So what you need to do is go to our ajolote.net, right? Go to the audio buffer, right? Get the code. It's not enough to get this code because you also need the HTML code. Modify the code in such a way that now your code plays for 3 seconds, but now it's just a monophonic signal, okay? Once that you have that piece of code, put it on your MAMP code, on the folder that is your audio server, and be sure that it's playing properly. Do you understand the assignment?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 10 minutes. It's 8:53. See you at 9:03.
Teacher, where is the code?
Oh, the code is, we got the code from the link from the Web Audio API examples, but in order to make life simpler, we just put it in Ajolote Web Audio examples. This link, it's important for you guys. This link that I'm putting on the chat, this link that I'm putting on the screen, right? On the screen. It's important because there you will have all your assignments, right? You will have your assignments and you will have your assignments. Actually, right now they are there. The examples of the class plus the examples that we got from the web all together, right? So see you in the meantime, I will go very quickly to the bathroom, but see you here in 8 minutes.
Teacher, creo que
Yes.
se me está silenciado.
Pardon me?
I think your mic was muted, but not anymore.
Oh, yeah, I muted while I went to the bathroom.
Teacher.
Yes.
So we need to create the white noise in mono and to have a duration of 3 seconds.
Yes.
Basically, in the part where in the code where it says stereo, we can change the 2 with a 1.
Yes.
Does that makes it mono?
Actually, yes.
And we only multiply it by 3 instead of 1 or of 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it working now in your server?
Yes, it does.
Good.
Teacher.
Yes.
I already made that, but well, it's only a question in order to make clear my ideas. In now buffering I equal math random times 2.
Yes.
This one of that times 2. What means?
The times 2?
In math random.
Okay. Yeah. Let me go here. Let me go here. So, because math random is a JavaScript function that gives numbers between 0 and 1, right?
Yes.
If you decide just to produce random numbers, you're going to get numbers between 0 and 1. If I plot many of them, right? 0.5, 0.3, 0, whatever, right?
Okay.
And I, just for graphical representation, I decide to draw them like a line, okay? I imagine now I have this kind of signal, right? But it's going between 0 and 1. For historical reasons, audio, digital audio, tends to be represented between -1 and 1, okay? That means that we will have something like this, right? So if we multiply it by 2, we are going to have random numbers between, if you get a random number and you multiply it by 2, at the end you're going to have random numbers between 0 and 2.
Yes.
Which is outside the scope of our digital audio signal. So you multiply times 2 and you subtract 1, then you're going to end up now with the proper random numbers between -1 and 1.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you very much.
The thing that I want, please, okay, please let's do this. Put your hand on blue. Raise your hand on the participants list if you have your code in the server working, so I can see very easily. There are 3, I guess. You can also see there are 4 guys that are already 5 that has the modification of the code in the folder of your MAMP server. That means that you can go to your browser and hear now the monophonic version in your local server. Half of the group have managed to do it. Please, guys, hurry up.
How do I raise my hand again?
Oh, where is your hand? I think that if you go to, good question. If you go to
participants, and then you just click on levantar la mano.
Thank you.
I think I cannot do it because I'm the host. Yeah.
Yeah, I just figured that. Thank you.
Good. There are some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that I need to finish. 6. I know 7. Five. Jared, Juan Pedro, Luis Arturo, Pablo Escamilla, Ricardo Gutierrez, are you having problems?
Well, I'm almost there. I'm just figuring out how to make it mono, but I'm fine.
Basically, as somebody else, the only thing that you have to do actually is changing the channel 2 for number 1.
Okay. I didn't see that line.
Mm-hmm.
I was searching like down.
I think.
Teacher.
Yes.
We don't need to upload this file into Blackboard or something like that.
No, you just need to open your browser and see that it's working on your browser.
Okay, thank you.
Pablo, how are you doing? Luis Arturo and Pablo, how are you doing?
Yes, teacher, I'm already working on that.
Okay.
I was the first one to tell you that I almost finished.
Oh, I see. And Pablo will know. Okay. In the meantime, while you guys finish, well, yes, the thing that you need to do was basically changing this to 1, changing this to 3, right? Save the file. I'm going to save it as white noise mono, okay? And then I need to put it in the same folder, right? In the, oh, am I recording? Let me see if I'm recording.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Okay. And then put it on the, whoa. Put it on the folder that I know that I have access to my map, right? Do you remember last class we had map and we went to preferences. In preferences, we select a particular folder, though that is the folder. That means that I can go and put my file that I just created, which in my case was in desktop, white noise mono. I can put it here, right? I can go to map, open web page, remove the map that is here, go to the web page audio class, and I should have now the white mono noise. Now it's 3 seconds long, and it is just 1 channel audio signal, right? So that should be fine at this point, okay? Because it's mono, the program is gonna play it on 2 speakers, right? Okay, that's good. Okay, now let's continue with the class. I'm gonna give an explanation, a little bit more, not complex, but a small piece of code, and you will have to do some modifications, right? That's what is gonna have to happen. It's all okay, Professor. Sorry if I cannot talk. It's because my parents are sleeping. Oh, okay, good. Thanks for letting us know. Okay. So what we have to do is the following. Let's go to our browser. Let's go to our browser. And then let's go also to our Ajolote webpage. On Ajolote webpage, that you should have access to that, and we already know now what Ajolote is, a URL that I bought, and I also pay for a company that gives me a space in a special server or in a server, and that allows me to create many different web pages by buying different URLs and pointing them to the same server with different folders. I can have all my projects. For example, the one that you saw the other day about these maps of the sound. For example, sonusgo.com, which is an application that I did for mobile devices for recording sounds and playing. It's like a Pokemon Go for sounds game. If you want to download it, it's a nice game, although you cannot play it right now because you cannot go outside of your places. And I have another place that is Sonoridad Delta, for example, which is another project that I did a couple of years ago with a Novus project from the Tech, with the students of the Tech, which is a sound installation in front of the sea. All of these web pages, right? My personal web page with my projects, right? All of these web pages, this is a sound installation with robotic pianos and so on and so on. All of this belongs to the same folder from the same server. Now, if you go to Web Audio API, you will see a small folder
Este
called,
es el audio 0.
that is playing random numbers.
Este es el audio
11,
5.
okay, go to there.
Este es el audio 2. Este es el audio 9.
It's playing by random.
Este es el audio
sounds.
1.
Okay, this example that is
Este
here.
es el audio 3. Okay. Este es el audio 8.
Okay, let's study the
Este
code.
es el audio 5. Este es el audio 1.
Probably the best thing to do first is to check
este
the
es el audio 4.
I cannot stop it. So I'm going to do it very quickly.
Este es el audio 0.
This is the source code, and it seems that everything is inside it,
este
right?
Es el audio 9.
It's a script, and it is a code.
Este
okay.
es
That is
el
the
audio
case,
2.
Select the code. I'm going to create a new
este es
local
el
file,
audio 7.
and I'm going to stop the sounds before we get crazy. Okay, this is the code. Okay, this is the code. One more time, we have an HTML with a head. There is no, with a head that says the title, and this is interesting. Now we have the script inside. The script is inside the head, and the body is pretty simple. We have the body that says, se tocan sonidos al azar, 11 random numbers, closing the body, and the HTML, okay? This is a little bit more, it's the same kind of long, but let's first check it, just digging around. First, we unload init, okay? Which is the function, okay, that will be triggered when the window has finished loading, okay? And it's init. Then a variable that is called context and a variable that is buffer loader, okay? Context and buffer loader. Okay. Now let's check a little bit the init, but probably is the starting point. Shuffle, finish loading. Okay. Remember that a piece of code do not necessarily read from top to bottom. You need to read it according to what you need. Let me lower all hands. If you have a question now, you can raise your hand again. So where is the starting point? Probably is the init, because this is the first thing that is going to happen. Let's check for the function init. If I go down, 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 this is the function init. This is the beginning of the code, no matter that we are on line 61. What is happening on init? Well, first it's going to try. If you remember, the other pieces that we have seen do not have the try, okay? If you put something between a try and then you get an error, the code is gonna alert you. It's a way for catching errors. If you know that something could happen wrong, why don't you take in advance the problem and you say, well, if there is a problem, then do this. If this fails for some reason, then please tell me that there is a problem with the audio. Good to know. Okay, what are we doing here? The same as of the other days. First, saying that the window audio context is going to be equal to either this one or this one for having the browsers working. Then start the context. Okay, good. Now, this is an interesting one. This is a little tricky one. Okay, buffer loader. It's a new buffer loader. Okay, a new buffer loader, but why can we call new buffer loader, by the way? Where is buffer loader? Either somebody did it or we did it. As simple as that. I'm gonna Control F and then I'm gonna find buffer loaders, and voila. It turns out that buffer loader is a function, right, that we have created that gets as input a context, a list of URL places where we have to get the sounds, and a callback function. A callback function is a function that you want to happen once that something finished. Okay? The context is this. Why this? This context, the one that is inside this variable, is going to be equal to the context of the total project. The URL list is the URL. The onload, it's equal to the callback. Okay, we will go to back in a second. The buffer list is equal to a new array. Okay, and this is a load count. You should be counting for some reasons. And why? Then we have a buffer loader prototype load buffer. Okay, this is a way for creating a class in JavaScript. And what is happening here is saying, okay, URL and index. Okay, this is a URL and index. Okay, we're saying this is a code that I got from the web. Is saying how can you get content? And sorry for my unorganization. If we go to the places where we had the audio, no, the Ajolote Web Audio API, and we go to the examples. And in the examples, we go to one of the audio basics, this one that is playing a sound, right? And we go to the Código Fuente, we will see that this person that is playing the audio is pretty much doing the same. Where are you getting the audio from this? Let me just go for 1 second. Is this playing? Oh no, this is not. Yes, this is playing a sound. That means that this code is loading a sound, right? Where is this loading a sound? Audio context, create media element source, audio element, okay? Oh, this is another way of loading the sounds. This is loading the sounds by the audio tag of the HTML, which is another way for doing this, okay? In fact, pretty much it is simpler than the one that we are doing, okay? That's interesting to know, okay? But in this particular code, we are loading the 10 different sounds, okay? By doing an HTML HTTP request, we are connecting, we are getting the values, and then the unload. Once that is unload, we have to decode the audio. This is just a piece of code that I copy from the web in order to have the sounds. If there is an error, it's going to give us an error if for some reason the sound is not in the place. And then the prototype load function is going to load the buffer for all the list. So wait for loading one sound and then the other and then the other sound, okay? Although I don't like this one, this example, to be honest. Then we get the audio, we load the buffers, right, into that particular context, the 11 sounds, and then finish loading. What should happen when we finish loading the sounds? When we finish loading the sounds, we need to get the values, shuffle the order of the different sounds, okay? And then create the source buffers, this array of buffers. I guess this is, if I be honest, I think that you should raise your hand and saying this is too complex because I'm jumping a lot, but I'm assuming that you are getting what is happening here. We create a buffer source, but 11 times, okay? We get the order, we connect, and we start to play the sounds, right? But spread over 5 seconds because I is 0, 1, 2, it's a counter. We are pausing the sounds, okay? So there's a lot of things here in order to have these sounds working. I think we should do it a little bit simpler. I think that we should simplify these codes. You're going to learn more, I think so, if we simplify this code a little bit. Why don't we mix the code that we just saw on the other example and this one? That's also a good, interesting experiment that we can do, okay? So I'm going to copy this file that is here, okay? And then I'm going to create a new file. So in this code, I have the 10 random numbers. In this window, I have the one that you were playing, that many of you were playing in the assignment that is getting the sounds. From here, the only thing that I want to do, right, is getting the sound from the HTML. So I'm going to take, and then I'm going to create a new file that is called simple audio player, okay? Player.html, okay? And then I will create it on the web page that I know that I can connect, that is here, simple audio player. Okay, that's it. First of all, I need my head and my body, okay? This, I know that this code remains without any changes, right? So I will copy. Okay, there is a CSS file here that I do not have on my code, right? So I need to copy, I will copy the CSS file that we did last class, okay? That we did last class, which is inside here. Do you remember that last class example number 1 has a CSS? Well, I'm going to copy this file and I will put it in my sample. Actually, I'm going to create a new folder and this will be example number 2. Okay, the simple audio player that we are working with, and my CSS is going to here. Okay, I'm gonna close this one and I will open it again in the new place that I have. That is example number 2. Okay, so I copy this and I copy that. Although here is called a style and our code is called my CSS. So this is my CSS. Okay, just for having something to see the background. Okay, now let's keep moving with this. It seems a division, a class, a section where we have ranges, volumes, steps, data list, input range, data list. This is all the places that is drawing. Actually, this is the things that allow us to draw this material, all these graphics. But I don't care about the graphics at this point, okay? So I don't care about this, don't care about this, don't care about this. I'm just concerned about this part, which is the source MP3 cross-origin anonymous audio, okay? This is the only thing that I'm concerned about, okay? There is a button that says false, class type control play, role switch, area check false, span, play, pause, and this is just a button. Okay, do you want the button? Yeah, let's copy the button too, okay? So let's check for the audio and the button. So I go to my code. Where was that? Was that on inside divisions? I don't care about the divisions, but it is inside my HTML. Okay, so why don't we just copy this and we create, is that inside body? Yes, it's inside body. So I will open my body tag. I will close it. Okay, I will paste the audio and then I will close my body. Oh, this is my button, which needs to be closed. Oh yeah, the button. And then I need to close my body, right? Then this is just comments. I will remove my comments. Then I have an audio. And then I have a button, right? Data type false, class type controls, role switch, area check false. Okay, I don't think we need the class for now, but I will keep it. Okay, yes, Sebastian, do you have a question?
Yeah, it's the span section. What does the span makes?
Well, because the span section is inside button, okay, we need to check what is happening inside here. So if we go here and we put a span in JavaScript, we will see that the span tag, okay, element used to color a part of a text. The span tags in an inline container used to mark up a part of a text. The span tag provides no visual by itself, but when it is marked, you can style it with a CSS. So it's a way for marking. It's just a graphical thing. And actually, because it's a graphical thing, probably we can just remove it. Is that okay? For now.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Now, simple audio player. If we go to the page where we have that, that means that we need to go to, where do I have to go? Oh, I have to go to, I'm closing not this, well, this one. not this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, Apple T, localhost, web audio, yeah, localhost, web audio, example 2, and simple audio player. Okay, sounds good. We have a CSS that we did, and we have a button. And probably this button does nothing at this point. Obviously, this button does nothing. But we have the button for playing the sound. Okay? So far, so good. Okay, now, do we need something else from this code? Probably yes. Let's go to the script. The script starts here, and the script finishes here, and then the body, and then the HTML. Oh, are we closing the HTML in our example? Not yet. That's a mistake. We need to close the HTML. Now, inside the body, but outside the bottom, we need our script, right? Which we know that it will open, and then it will close. Is that okay? Okay. This part is JavaScript. This part is my body. This part is my head. This part is my HTML. Inside my head, I have a small reference to my CSS. Okay, I'm building what you. This is the way that you should be working during your assignments. Understand the code, get pieces of code, and very gradually put the materials that you need to do. Okay, because this example is too complex. Okay, this example is too complex. And what I'm worried about, or what I'm concerned about in this one, is getting the sound. Okay, is clearing the console. Oh, that's good. Why don't we do that too? Yes, I will clear the console. And then, should we get the audio context? Yes, we need to get the audio context. But this is the audio element, okay, from the audio. And this is the playing button from the tab controls place. Oh, this is good. Okay, we do need these two events that are here. The audio element, do we need it? I guess yes. Do we need the audio context? I guess yes. Okay, so why don't we go and copy these four elements right now? Okay, I go to my code, and then I go here. Okay, and then this is load some file. Okay, the track. For now, I don't know why do we need a track, so I'm gonna remove it, and then I'm gonna remove this one too, and then this is the audio. Do we have something called audio? Yes. And now let's be careful with that. Play button is the document query selector type control play. Okay, type controls play, but it is starting with a dot. Okay, this is the class. Let's roll Arial check false. I'm not gonna move it too much at this point. Okay, but I will go to here and I will check if this function actually works. Okay, and again I'm gonna check if this actually works. So I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna close this, okay, and then I'm gonna put here console.log. It is working. Nice. Okay, and then I will go to my browser, refresh my browser, open my developer tools. Oh, there are some mistakes here. Okay, uncut syntax error. As soon as I see this, that means that I have a problem. Okay, something is not properly closed. Oh, now this parenthesis, close this parenthesis, this bracket, close this bracket, and then I'm forgetting one parenthesis. I will do it again. Refresh. Okay. No, new problem. The localhost simple audio is not getting outfoxing MP3. I have a problem because here I'm saying that I want to read a sound file, which is an MP3. That is not present in my folder. Sounds logic. The mistake has completely logic because I don't have sounds. I'm wondering if these sounds are MP3s or web files. Oh, they are MP3 files, so I can basically just get one of these sounds and put it on my example 2. So I have a sound called 0.mp3 and a CSS and my simple audio player. Okay, I will modify this from the example and I will put it in 0. Okay, that means that if I go back to my browser and I refresh, I don't have any mistake. If I press the button, it is working. Nice. As you can see, each time that I press my button, I get something in the console. That means that this thing is working. By the way, would this work if I remove the dot? Uncaught error, add event listener on null example. No, it's not working. Why? Because we are getting this by class number. So I cannot remove the dot. Okay? Question, if I remove this by any chance, and instead of saying audio, I put button, is this gonna work? Yes, it is working. Okay, that means that we can simplify our code by removing that. I will not go into that details. I'm only trying to simplify these materials. But then we have a button. Okay, I go back and then says, do we need it if audio context null init? Yes, we do. But where is our init? This is starting to be a little bit complex. This is starting to be a little bit complex, but let's do this. Don't worry too much. I will go and then I will grab this piece of code and I will put it in addition to here. I will code if there is no audio context, I will call the function init. Okay? Now, if that means that I need a function called init, right? Like in the same way that we have here, in the same way that we have here, okay? Init, and then a flag here. And then I will check here one more time. I will copy another console, and then I will put here init is being called. I will go to web page, I refresh, I press plot, and look, it is working, and it has been called. It's being called, okay? Wow, that's nice. That means that everything is working. I press my button, the function init is called, and the function init is called has these materials. What do we need to do? First of all, okay, create the audio context, okay? Okay, I will create then my audio context. What else is this guy doing? Oh, interesting. Track is equal to audio context, create media element source from my audio element where my audio element is. Where is my audio element? Let's go back to that little detail. My audio element is this contact. Oh, that's interesting. So we do need the track, okay? That means that that's the reason why this person has also a variable called track. And actually, do we need these constants? Let's give it a try. Why don't we just explore and we'll remove the let's to check if all of these things that we have here is still working when I have this. I will save it. I will refresh. Uncut error, audio context is not defined, okay? That means that we at least need to say that we have variables. This should be variables. Is this working? Yes, it's working, okay? The other way is for you to, in case that you have many programs working at the same time, but at this point, because we only have one, we can call them just generical variables, right? So once that we have this, and we have the audio context, we can go back to the init. Do you remember that in init we have this track here? That means that our track, it's going to be equal to the audio context, create media element source from the audio element, where the audio element is getting the content from the tag audio, because we only have one audio in our HTML that we know that has been loaded properly. That means that everything should be fine. Okay? Yes, good, good, good. Okay, so far so good, right? So far so good. Now, this person is doing a lot of connections that I don't care at this moment, because that will be your assignments. But then it seems that we have the track connect to the game, to the panel, to the audio destination. Okay, for now, I won't change nothing from the track. I will just copy and paste, remove all these connections because we don't have that. Track connect to the audio context destination. This should be also fine. Okay, good. So far so good. Is this gonna play? Probably not, because if I go here and I refresh my browser and I play, there is no mistakes, which is good, but there is no sound, which is bad, right? So what else do we need to do? We need to start it. Probably we need to track a start. Why is this not happening here? Because probably this person that created this bigger example has everything on these sections, right? The play button. The play button, in addition to the click, it says if it's suspended, if it's false, if it's true, if it's not true, but so on and so on. Let's state this get attribute Arial check equal true, then true becomes false. This set attribute Arial check state false true. It's a way for changing the content of the button. For right now, I'm not care about this. I just want the audio element to play and the audio element to pause. Okay? Okay, and then this is the audio element to resume. When you click the button, you init the sound. And then if the audio context stage is suspended, then resume it. I don't care about this at this point. But if this data set, oh, what is data set? What is data set? Okay, is there something like the data set playing equal false? This is actually the button. Why do we know that? Because when you look for this, you need to see inside which context you are located. And we are inside the context of the button. Okay, too complex for us. I don't care about that. I will just go to the audio element play. Okay, and then I will put it in the function. Okay, so track start should happen on the button. So I don't like this too much. Okay, if it's not in it, it's gonna connect, and then I will. This is just things that should happen once, right? Init, or actually I want to change the name. Init audio system. just to be clear that this audio system should happen if we don't have a context. But if we have a context, that means that we do have a track and then that we have connected. In addition to that, we're gonna play the track dot play. And then I save it. I go back, I refresh. Oh, track play is not a function. Why track play? Oh, because it's audio element play. Audio element play. Audio element play. Okay, should we give it a try? Refresh.
Este es el audio 0.
And voila, we listen the sound. Okay, we're getting an error saying that localhost favicon is not working. That's another mistake that is not related with the audio, but is related with the graphics. Okay, what about if we just for fun get very quickly, go back here, go back to her browser and see if we can get rid of this. Get favicon. The sample is reading. The answer is simple. All it means is that people with browsers that use favicon, Firefox, Opera, and most others are visiting your site. While seeing a 404 in your log files usually means that a visitor got a dreaded 401 page not found. In that case, it doesn't. Okay, that doesn't seem that it's an error for us, right? It seems that everything is fine with that for us at the moment, right? And then voila, we have a small piece of code that is way more understandable than the example, where we have the audio context and the button inits the audio system. In addition to that, the audio element is play with that. Estefania, questions?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm kind of having problems understanding, like, in general, HTML, because I think there's like, I don't know about my classmates, but I think it would be better maybe if we start a code from zero than modifying another code that is like done already, because some things about, like, I don't know, for example, like query selector or something, or I don't really get it, because I think it's kind of difficult starting a new programming language, like only observing a code, and I'm really struggling with it.
Okay, I'm gonna. I understand what you are saying. Thanks for the comment. This is happening. It's pretty similar to what it was happening in Super Collider. We have to do the small exercises, and we have to do a little bit more complex codes and go back and forth. Just don't get frustrated and don't get panic. As you can see, this code is kind of, we need a place, we need something to play with, okay? So which is exactly what I'm doing here, okay? So I understand what I'm saying. Don't worry, we will go to simpler exercises. So be sure, trust that I hear what you say, okay?
Teacher?
Yes.
Yeah, I also feel like this is when we started with Super Collider, that at the beginning it was like a lot of information in a pretty little time. And I think that's what is happening here, because I feel like that as well. I'm struggling a lot to understand what's happening in the whole context of the program.
Okay. Okay. Let me make this the smallest possible that I can do. It cannot be small than this, because this is the only, this is actually small. Let me see something. I understand what you are saying, and then I would say the same. please trust and give me another couple of classes, okay? And you will start to get this in a little bit more clarity. I'm pretty sure about that, okay? But still, I will take into account what you are saying, okay? Okay, now, as you can see, this code is extremely small at a point, okay? Can you see all my screen?
Yes.
Can I make? Okay. I will pass you this code, okay? Yes, it's 9:52, which is good. That means that we have time for you guys to play with this code. I will repeat. Do you think? Just raise your hand if you feel that I need to re-explain this. I mean, to mimic what you were asking. That is starting from 0. Okay, the page. I mean, just re-explaining this now that we have the code finished. Instead of starting from this complex code and go to this one, I want to start on this one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, pretty much many people. Okay, that's good. That's enough. Thank you. Second try, okay? White page, even though it's a rare that you start on a white page, okay? I will save it, simple audio, second version .html, okay? I will go, and then I need to start in something. I will go, and then I will go to HTML tutorial on my W3 school. There we have a small piece of code that is what I need to do in order to start a web page. Okay, HTML open, closing, and a body. Okay. Okay. Now, again, raise your hand, please, if you feel that something is not clear, even at this point. It's better to raise your hand and ask than waiting 20 minutes and say that I should go back. Please stop me in any place. As far as I can see, this is clear, right? Because this is a repetition of what we did in the last class. Pure HTML, right? Sounds good. Now, we need to add an audio tag, okay? So in addition to that, in my body, in addition to that, I will add an audio one, okay, which probably should be closing, okay? Now, we don't know about the audio object, but that means that I can go to the audio tag of HTML. And we can go here and says, okay, what is the audio? Play a sound. Audio controls, audio source, 1, 2, and your browser. Should we try this one? What is it doing, by the way? Any text inside between tags will be displayed in the browsers, okay? Do you have an autoplay, controls, loop, mute, preload, and sources? Wow, that's interesting. Why don't we give it a try, okay? I'm gonna copy this piece of code as it is in the tutorial, and I'm gonna put it here. Of course, we don't have horse MP3, but we know that we have 0.mp3, and we know that we have 1.mp3. Okay, sounds good. Let's go then to my server. I will go and then I will copy all my 10 sounds right away from 0 to 10 into the example number 2. Okay, I have in the same folder than my simple audio version 2, 10 sounds. I will save it and I will go to my browser where I will go to my, this is the complex one, localhost, web audio, example 2, my simple version 2. Voila, this is a paragraph and then I can play.
Este es el audio 0.
Okay, it seems that I can only play one sound. Oh, I think it's because this is misunderstanding. This is the type of sound that you are working with. In the example that we saw, it was an OGG, but in my case, both are MPEG. So is this gonna fix the problem? No, just one sound.
Este es el audio 0.
So that means that there is a couple of things that are problematic in the example that we just saw, right? In the, here, in the audio, we have 2 sources, but the tag-defined sounds such as music. Why can we hear only one sound if this example is giving you 2? Oh, because I guess it's just an example, okay? It's just an example that you can either use an MP3 or a OGG. That means that you can only have one source in this little tag, okay? Yes?
Wouldn't it be that instead of having the MPG written down, you could just change it to MP3, I think, because I use that for my code, and instead of having the MPG, I was using MP3, and I think it was working, but I'm not sure if it would be the same here.
Oh, I don't think so, because this is the real name from the MP3 file. Okay, I don't think that if you put this as an MP3, I don't think this would. I think this will work.
Este es el audio 0.
It works, but officially you should type MP. Okay.
All right.
But you can only play one sound. Now, what can you do with that? Let's go. What kind of things can you do? Yeah, look at this. You have the MIME formats that you have to use, okay? Browsers, you can say autoplay. That's interesting. You can add controls if you want to play, pause. You can loop it if you want, mute it, preload it, or source. Do you want to loop it? Sounds good. Why don't we just loop it? I guess audio loop. It seems that if we say source and then loop, I guess equal to true. I would imagine, I'm not quite sure, but
Este es el audio 0.
It's not looping, source, type, and loop.
Did you refresh the web page?
Este es el audio 0.
Yes. Let's loop it. Just type loop.
Este es el audio 0.
It's not looping. For some reason, my audio is not looping, which means that there is a problem in the audio context, right? Audio, the number in the table specify the versions that will do it. Okay. HTML audio loop attribute. It is an attribute like source and type, like the ones that we have here. Global attributes, audio, related, default, okay. Muted, preload, and the same way that we have source and it has the URL, we have the loop and then specify that the audio will start over again every time it is finished. Yes? Controls, autoplay. Oh, because it's not in source. Sorry, it's in audio loop. Okay?
Este es el audio 0. Este es el audio 0.
Okay?
Este es el audio 0.
Okay, that's nice, because that means that we have a tag that allows us to play the sound. This is bad. Okay, sorry for that mistake. Okay, questions at this point?
So the loop, you were supposed to write it after audio controls or next to type?
It doesn't matter. No, look this here. It can be, they are parameters. No order is important inside the audio tag.
Yeah, but I mean, as we saw, like loop was next to type, it's equal to audio / MPSG. So loop has to be, I mean, in the line number 10, not in the line number 11.
No, that was my mistake. That's why I apologize for that. It should be on line 10, not on line 11.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a parameter of the audio tag. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, but at this point, we don't want to loop it. And actually, I don't want to control it because I want to use it as an input. If I do this, there is no audio anymore, right? That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It is connected, but it is an audio that we can use as the input from our web audio API. For now, just for fun, I will keep it here, but that doesn't mean that we need to, okay? This is just a way for getting the audio, okay? So, sounds good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, now, because what we are learning is a more sophisticated way for controlling the sounds, I will create a JavaScript, which is this one, right? Script, which at the same time will be closing, okay? This is JavaScript. Are you following? Because this is growing a little bit. I want you to see how it is growing, and we shouldn't be concerned about that, okay? I will change this, not supported. I'm trying to do this the smallest visually because that gives us a little bit of hint than that, okay? Inside this script, I can say console.log hola, right? And if I open this, I should have hola. I don't see it. Console.log.hola. Did I save it?
Just over the warnings.
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Oh, hola. It's there. Okay. Then it's giving us a bunch of errors, a couple of warnings, and that's because we are not having any of the materials like the ones that we have here. The meta character, the equivalent, blah, 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 okay? We need to add these lines if we want to remove that warnings. But for now, just for now, I don't care, okay? Okay, now, we need to do the audio context, okay? So the audio context is this one. Remember that we need these two lines in order to make the code work. Or actually, questions at this point. Let's do this in the 25 minutes that are missing. Could you, I'm gonna send you this, because yes, that could help. I'm gonna send you through the chat. And please, oh, Okay, I send you through the chat of Zoom what do we have so far. I just want that you type it also, not only watching the video, but also tapping and testing. Could you save this content in a file, call, whatever you want, and put it in your folder where you are working and adding the MP3 that you need to play? Because I do have the 0, but you don't have it. You can download it if you want, because we have them here, right? You can download them from here if you want to, or you can put any other MP3 file that you want. And please raise your hand, but try to do it as fast as possible. Edson, do you have a question?
Oh, no, I have it already. I
okay.
did.
Good. Okay, as fast as possible, as fast as possible. Yes, raise your hand once that you are done.
Teacher, I have a question. Well, I already made it, but I have a question. Well, I use the same audio file as the homework, my composition, but that composition was in, well, I have my folder for Sublime or HTML, and in that folder, I have all the last test of color and sound and this exercise. And inside, well, and there is also a folder with the web audio examples that I downloaded. And inside of the audio analyzer folder, there is the MP3 that I added. But if in the class exercise, like 2 levels up of that folder, I write like the path of the MP3 file, does it will detect it without like copying the MP3 file to that level of the folder?
Oh, I see. Okay, good question. Very good question. While the other part of the class finished, oh, well, we have to wait for that. I will give you the explanation in 1 second.
Okay.
Come on, guys, hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up.
Well, my question will resume.
You can do it. If you want it in a specific place, you could add http dot blah 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 free sound slash. That gives you connection to another remote domain.
Well, but they don't have to be obligated in the same level of the folder.
No, no, no. If you want it in another folder, you have to say my sounds slash shouts slash my sounds earth, right? MP3. That means that in the place where you have your HTML, you have a folder called my sounds. Inside that, you have a folder called earth. Inside that, you have your sound.
Oh, I see. I will try it.
If you want to go up, you have to do dots. With 2 dots, arriba, sounds. With these, that means that you go up 1 folder on the tree, and then you go to other directions, right?
Thank you, teacher.
But for clarity purposes, I'm just putting them on the same folder. Yeah. Okay, guys. Now, pretty much 3/4 of the group has the material. So what I want you to do now is just add a very basic button. Could you please add a basic button on the HTML part? I will remove your hands again, okay? I will lower your hands and raise your hand once that you have a button on the HTML. A button that says play and does nothing.
Sorry, teacher, do I have to raise my hand if my program is working well, or?
Yes, you have to raise your hand if your program is working well, and you just have to talk if you have a question. And at this point, you should have this code plus a button, a HTML object.
Does it have to be in the same code?
What do you mean?
The button.
Yes, yes, of course, in this code.
Is it supposed to be inside the script bar?
No, you cannot add, well, you could, but it's more complex. You should add it on the HTML part.
Okay.
So we can put it on the line 12?
Exactly, good point, line 12. Imagine that you don't remember how to add it. Probably if you just Google button HTML, you will get again to the W3 school where you will have a description. And then on line 12, you type play. While the other part of the group finished, change the content of the sound if you want, because now it says page title, this is a heading, this is a paragraph. And I guess we don't want that, right? And this is sonido Z. So Ricardo, Oscar, Luis, Lily, Fer, Fernanda, Fabian, come on, come on. And if you go to your browser, you should be listening. Simple audio B2 should be
Este es el audio 0.
should be playing.
Este es el audio 0.
Oscar Eduardo, come on. As you can see here, you have a button that does nothing and a nice audio player
Este es
that
el audio.
actually plays the sound, right? If you just want basic functionality, if you know that you are not doing processing effects or anything like that, the audio tag is enough, right? For regular industry, this is probably enough for playing a sound on a web page. If you have a web page of your band and you want somebody to hear something, you can do something like this. If you want a more complex way for manipulating sound, that means making sound synthesis on the browsers of the people, then we will need to do the script. Please, and this is interesting, please write the JavaScript code that is required to say hi when you press this button. Probably the best thing to do by now is also adding an ID that is called, that you have to write, okay? There are many ways for doing things. You can add in my button here, or you can actually click and then a function. Actually, I will go through this version. On click, and you can add toca, okay? On click equals toca. And then if you write here a function toca, yes, I play. I think it's toca with parentheses. That's it. A very basic way for connecting. Oscar Eduardo, you did not raise your hand. I hope that everything is going good. Now, could you please write in your code, do not copy, just, copy what I did, which was adding a function in the script, right? A function in the script and a reference to the function as a parameter on button. What it does is that you are saying, button, when you are pressed, please call the function whatever, which in this case is called toca, which means that in your script, you need the function toca. Okay? Raise your hand when you are done.
Teacher, I think I finished, but I don't remember how to open the console on the browser.
In which browser are you?
Chrome. Chrome.
In Chrome? Oh, if you are in Chrome, you need to go to here, to the three dots that are to the left.
Yeah.
Three dots. My tools, which probably says my herramientas.
Oh, develop.
Yes. Control Shift I, which is Control Shift I. Okay. And then from that you go to console. Yes. Okay. Okay, Oscar. Okay. Are you doing good? Jared, Carlos, and Oscar de Jesus. Come on, come on.
Done.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm assuming
Teacher?
that, yes?
Where the message has to appear?
In the console.
Has to appear Sitoke?
Yes, of course. Yes. If you go to the...
I think my code is wrong.
Okay. Yes, it should appear here. Sitoke. Okay, I'm gonna clear the console. And if everything is properly working, when I press the button, I should see Sitoke. Okay. If that is not happening, that means that something is wrong in any of these parts. Problem with the name of the function, you are not closing what bracket, you are not closing what bracket, and so on and so on.
Yes, is this in on click?
Okay. So Fernanda, Oscar, hope that you are doing good. I hope that you are doing good.
No, Sitoke does not appear in my console.
Okay, but are you getting any error in the console?
No, not at all. Just nothing appears.
Are you sure that your button on line 12 has the on click, everything lowercase, equal, Toca with parentheses?
Yeah, everything is the same as yours.
Can you save and refresh? Save the file, be sure that you have saved the file, and be sure that you have refreshed your browser.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot to refresh.
Okay.
It's working.
Good.
Thank you.
Now, inside that function, could you please add the two lines that are required to start the audio context? The first one, not mandatory, is the one that allows you to play on multiple browsers. And the second is calling the function to get the audio context. Would you please do that? It should take you no more than a minute. And again, raise your hand when you are done.
Sorry, teacher, what did you say?
Oh. Add the two lines that start the audio context. When you press the button, start the audio context. You need two lines. One line that make it available for any browser, and one that actually start the context. Actually, they are here, right?
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
So what we have to do is to get the audio that we are using to another variable?
No, starting the audio context. Basically copying 15 lines, 15 and 16. But don't worry, because it's 1027. So, okay, couple of things. Because I have to explain you why are you gonna be working during the week, please. What you are doing in simple audio B2 is just the exercise of going very little by little to reach, but we didn't finish, to end up with code simple audio player. If you see, simple audio player is extremely small in syntax, okay? There is pretty much, we cannot make this example smaller, but it is a small example that gets the audio, right? And that triggers the audio and plays the sound. What I want you to do as an assignment is adding, okay, a volume and a panning, okay? Probably this is way too simple for some of you, but a little bit complex from another, okay? I want you to add as many effects to this audio, okay? Assignment for next week. First, understand everything that is happening on simple audio player. If you need to go as slow as you need in order to get any detail, for example, console. If you go to console and you go here to console JavaScript, oh, console JavaScript, okay, it's gonna give you an example about what methods can you call on function on console. For example, clear, count, error, info, etc. Different type of things that you can do. Okay, now I understand this line. Check mark. If you have a question about these things, this line that is here, okay, probably I'm expecting that you understand what is this. This is an OR. But if you don't understand it, you have to go into that detail on your own. Window, okay? For example, what is the window variable on window JavaScript methods? Okay, one more time, we can go to, do we have something like MP3? No, okay, so I'm gonna go to window JavaScript method.
That OR function has the basic function of the logic OR.
Pardon me?
It has the function of the, I don't know, the digital, the logic of the OR function.
Yes, this is the OR, which means either this one, some of these ones will return a null. If you're in Internet Explorer, this will give you null, and this will give you an audio context. If you are on Chrome, this one will give you the audio context, and this will give you null. So when you say OR, is give me the one that has the audio, either this one that is Chrome or this one that is Internet Explorer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Teacher?
Yes?
So the double bar is for making it available on different web programs?
Yeah, well, the answer has, I have to, the answer is yes and no. Yes, because it is what it's doing. What you are saying is what is happening, but not because this means or. This is the or in JavaScript. In JavaScript, the or and the and or operator, right? Look, this is comparison and logical operators. Equal, triple equal, different, bigger, smaller, right? And, or, and not, and so on and so on. This is a logical operator. I'm assuming that you remember this from your previous class. If not, you should let me know, because that means that I need to go. I cannot go back to that place, but I can be aware that we need to know that, okay? But then, this is just a way for saying, window, if you go to the window, what is happening with the window methods on JavaScript? Look, window methods give you a lot of things: close, console, default, documents, frames. This is a huge one, okay? Window object methods can give you a bunch of different things. Actually, the audio context is not here, but these are many things that could happen. So audio context, it is implemented for doing sound synthesis on a browser, but it has different names on different browsers, okay? So if you do something like this, A equals, if you do A equal 5 or null, what do you get?
5.
If you say A equals null or 5, what do you get?
5.
Okay, that means that at the end, it's a way for getting the element. Instead of having 5, what you have is a sound engine. Sound engine. Well, sorry for the mistakes. Or sound engine. What do you get on A?
Sound engine.
Exactly.
No sound.
But sound engine, no matter, but Chrome and many guys have the engine, the sound engine, in a place called audio context, and others has the audio called in the context WebKit audio context. And because they never fixed that, with this line, you guarantee that audio context contains the audio engine. Okay? For example, and so on. So I want you to study this code now that is way more simple than examples that you did last class, way more simple. And I want you to add to this code volume, panning, and an effect, okay? So assignment, adding here, okay, well, but I cannot do this. Okay, let me see how to add a comment on HTML. That's very uncomfortable from this. Okay. So in addition to the button, okay, I'm simply audio player. You will, okay. Here. Yeah. Please go back. Okay. Add a slider for volume. Okay. Add a slider for panning. Okay. And here, create. Look how the comments are different in scripts than HTML. Create a volume again node. Create a panning node. And extra. Create more effects. Okay. But that means that also create more sliders for the extra effects. Okay. So do you understand the assignment?
Yes.
Teacher,
yes.
Are you gonna send us that code?
Absolutely. As every class, I will upload the recording of the class, the content that we create during the class, and open the space in Blackboard for your assignment. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you for your attention. Thanks for letting me know that I have to work in this another way. I will do that. And then for last time, I was chatting with, let me see, with somebody on WhatsApp who has questions. Cell phone ending on 6991. I think it's
Me, teacher.
Ricardo. Ricardo,
No, Omar.
right? Omar. Do you have some minutes if you have questions?
It was only for the effects in the code.
Okay.
I did not know
Okay,
how
so
to link.
the class is finished. Do you want to stay connected if you to solve that question?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a nice week. If you have questions, let me know in advance.
Thank you, Professor. See you.
See you, bro.
See you.
Have a good weekend.
Be safe.
Thank you, bro.
See you then.
See you.
Omar?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, if anybody wants to stay, you can stay. Okay, let me stop recording. Yes, because I'm going to start recording.